State Representative and former Mayor Cedric Glover is here, kind of today in your former mayor suit. There's a lot of articles written, TV stuff. We have reported about it here, so let's start with the following. Do you know about any sort of FBI investigation of you, the Tyler administration, or of anything or anybody that might be related to those two?
I have no direct knowledge of such, but here's what I've operated under since essentially November of 1990 and became specifically appropriate in 1993 during the Joe Shine investigation. And that is, if you are privileged to hold an office, to accept a position of public trust, then probably what you should expect is that you are always subject to some form of scrutiny, evaluation, critique, and potential investigation. I think that's an ongoing status.
The stories that have been, that we've seen over the last week or so, there is an FBI investigation. Is that, to your knowledge, true? Is it untrue? Do you have any idea?
I have no knowledge whatsoever, whether or not it's true or not. I have no doubt that there are folks out there who are and probably have been and probably will continue to reach out to various law enforcement folks at every level, local, state, and federal, because they believe that there is something amiss, something wrong, that something needs to be investigated.
There has been allegations in this report that there was a pay-for-play scandal connected to Lynn Braggs, who was your campaign manager. Is that accurate?
I think it probably would be accurate to say campaign coordinator. I've probably been my campaign manager in all my campaigns. So there are lots of folks who believe themselves to be my campaign manager, but certainly he was an active participant within my campaign.
Did you and Lynn Braggs have any conversations about helping any companies get city contracts?
No.
Never?
No. In terms of him.
Email conversations?
No. Well, understand this. And here's the understanding that everyone involved in my campaigns, whether you are a contributor, whether you are a volunteer, whether you are someone who worked the phone bank, whether you're someone who went out and canvassed streets, and that is, I'm not going to categorically prohibit you from engaging in legal enterprise if I happen to win an office. At the same time, that contribution, that time, that canvassing, that phone banking gives you no elevated status or advantage or benefit in your efforts to try and do whatever it is that you may attempt to do from a legal standpoint.
Did your office, when you were as mayor, did you circumvent the bid process on any bids that may have been awarded?
No. No, we actually, and you have to understand, there's two different things. You have both a bid process, which is outlined by state statute. Then you have what's called an RFP process. And no, we did not circumvent either of those. We followed and used the discretion that's vested within the mayor's office to make decisions that we believe to be in the best interest of the city of Shreveport. One of the things that's particularly troubling about a lot of the discussion that's going on right now is that it's a challenge to a part of the mayoral legacy, well, not just mayoral legacy, actually her council legacy of former Mayor Hazel Beard. Prior to 1987-88, mayors in the city of Shreveport were not bound by an architects and engineers selection process. As mayor, you had by charter the power and the authority to pick professionals for those types of projects without any input or any evaluation or any consideration from anyone outside of you as mayor. It was Hazel Beard, in her capacity as a member of the city council, who saw that as a problematic situation and who worked with the members of the city council at that time to put in place the process that has been there for now almost 30 years that outlines exactly how that's composed, how it works, and how they do their work and their deliberations. And then the top 3 recommendations of the 10, 15, 20, or however many are actually submitted are the ones that actually end up being submitted to the mayor for him to be able to, or her, to review and make the actual selection of the individuals that get a chance to get to work.
So in the transcription of the deposition in the Pernisi case with the city, where I guess it was, who were they interviewing at the time. Was it Brian Crawford?
They interviewed Brian Crawford. They also
Where the lawyer for the city says, we can't talk about that because of an investigation. Have I got that right? Where he interrupts his client and says, we can't comment on that because of an investigation. You really don't know what investigation they might be talking about.
I think you're referring to the Manchac individual who made that reference. I don't think that was Crawford who made that reference.
Have you been deposed in the Pernice case at all?
No, I have not.
No deposition for you?
No, I have not.
Are is it scheduled? Have they been asked?
I have not been contacted. No one has reached out to me. No one has done anything in that regard
So when you
whatsoever.
see this report, you see all this stuff online that you're the devil, and you have to be. I mean, you care about your reputation. You care about your legacy. Have you been slandered? Have you been maligned? What's your next step? I mean, you're sitting here with us, which I appreciate.
Well, part of accepting the privilege of being able to do what I've done since I was 24, 25 years old is that you have people who slander you, who lie about you, who attempt to use your name and your position in an effort to try and enrich and benefit themselves. They make up stuff that even if there's nothing there. So that's a part of what goes on with this. So if you're not ready to put on your big boy pants, both literally and figuratively in my case, then this is not something that you ought to look to get involved with. And so, yes, I am going contrary to the playbook. As I said to you in my text message, the traditional standard thing that you do under these types of circumstances is you issue a statement, and you don't go and put yourself, I guess, in the lion's den and answer questions. But it is important for me to be able to sit here and to say to you that in the time that I've been privileged to serve in office in this community, I have done in each and every situation and circumstance what I thought to be best for the city of Shreveport.
Did some of your friends benefit as a result?
I have no doubt that some of the folks who were a part of the effort to get me elected to city council, people who were a part of the effort to get me elected to state representative, some of the people who were part of the effort to get me elected to the mayor's office benefited in some way or fashion. But that was not a part of what it is that I was there to do. As I said to you, all the folks who have helped, who've contributed, who volunteered, who have worked, who've advocated, who've called and what have you, I've not said that any of those folks cannot have an opportunity to engage in legal enterprise. At the same time, that effort, that contribution, everything else that you've done does not afford you an undue advantage.
Does it send the wrong signal, though?
Because I want to be in a position always to be able to look in people in the eye and tell them what the Lord loves, and that's the truth.
Does it send the wrong signal, though, if a mayor, and in any city, a mayor's friends are benefiting and enriching themselves because of their friendship with the executive?
Well, here's the thing. You do not set out. That's not my objective. What I'm looking to do is to do what's best for the city of Shreveport. Now, given discretion, am I going to go out and look for Brian Woolley's supporters and voters and say, hey, guys, come on down. There's opportunity here at the city of Shreveport, and you guys are the best folks to step in and do that? No, I'm not going to do that. That doesn't make sense. At the same time, I'm not going to disqualify my friends, my supporters, folks who have believed in me from being able to step up to the starting line and be able to compete.
Were they all given city contracts, the ones that were friends?
No.
I mean fairly. In other words, were they competing on an even playing field with company ABC?
Especially when you talk about those things that go through the A&E selection process. Because you're going through that panel of folks who all bring together their questions, their concerns, and what have you. And you could have 10 firms who are competing. Mm-hmm. And one that you may know and may have gotten contributions from or what have you, may not be amongst those who make the top three.
Then why all this hubbub about Lynn Braggs and his connections to you, Mayor Tyler, et cetera?
Well, I mean, I understand how for those folks who are involved in whatever it is that's going on right now at City Hall, I have no knowledge of, would look to try and take whatever it is that they can manage to uncover to try and make their case for why it is that they believe that there's some problem with this administration that ought to be resolved in their favor. I can't give account for anything that's happened at City Hall from December 27th of 2014 to today. I can take account for everything that happened from the morning of December 27th of 2014 to November 27th of 2006.
Have you retained an attorney, and do you have a message if indeed the FBI is investigating?
I've not retained an attorney.
Message to the FBI if they
I have
are
no-
indeed,
I have
you're
no-
open, they can come call
I have no
you.
message to the FBI. As I said to you, when I started this as a very young man in November of 1990, it became poignantly clear in 1992 and 1993 when you had both the Joe Shine investigation, accusations of extortion for liquor licenses, as well as the first round of riverboat licenses, and you had all of Shreveport titter
You
about
bet.
all of the various schemes and things that were going on. A very good friend said to me, Cedric, the truth is an absolute defense.